What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to give you guys my review on Rematch, and I honestly don't think it's going to take too long. This is, to put very simply, an amazing game. A game I truly am in love with, and one that I kind of saw coming in that way, so I'll break it down a little bit. Of course, I want to thank the developers for giving me a code for this game. I got the deluxe edition, so I got to play the game a few days early. It gave me a head start against all of the competition, get me into the ranked modes and all that jazz. But no, I mean, look, this game is pretty simplistic, and it's why I don't think it's going to take all that long. In fact, it's so simplistic, I don't care about, nor care to really talk about the more, I'd say, like, live servicey, the game lasting beyond, like, an expiration date. That's there. You know, this game's got seasons. This game has cosmetics. This game has, you know, different skins and tones and all of this, you know, stuff that you can do visually. You know, it's got its store, and, for me, personally, I'm not going to spend a penny on this game, you know, in terms of season passes, battle passes, any of that stuff. You know, I've always said games like this, I think eventually we'll get there, but I think of a game like Fall Guys, or I've thought of like Dead by Daylight back in the past. You give a live service-y type game enough time, and the menus will become unrecognizable. I'm sure you've all seen it, right? Pick a game that's been around for like 2+ years and look at the menu the day it came out, and then look at the menu now, and you'll see 5 different currencies and 3 stores and 50 things you can spend the currencies on. It's a mess. It becomes a gigantic mess. Those things I don't care about. And I mean, part of that's here. If you want to invest your time in it, knock yourself out. For me, it's the game, the core game. And this is something that I had predicted from, not when they showed it. When they showed it, I was too in my own head about how could the developers of Sifu, and before that Absolver, how could they go and make a soccer game? It feels very limiting. And let me tell you, I mean, like, yeah, I want a Sifu too. Okay, I want them to go back to that one day. But this game rocks. This game pulls you in. And I mean, I talked about this a couple of times. The idea of the word rematch, why they titled it that. They've said it. They want people to, when they finish a match, immediately feel the need to hit rematch and to go back in. And I don't think they could have done a better job. Like, there is that inherent pull to say one more. You know, I played the game 2 days early, and I was playing it every day. One of the nights I was up, no joke, until 1:30 a.m., and I couldn't stop. And I played hours straight, and it was like, I'm just having too much fun. You know, really, the only negative about the core game, and they have been, even at the time I'm recording this, they put up an update that they're going to fix the server time. The first couple days, I mean, I was getting in 30 seconds, 40 seconds, 50 seconds, you know, waiting time to get into a match. But then I think the first day this game came out to like everybody, it was taking 5 to 7 minutes. That's unacceptable. That reminds me of Predator Hunting Grounds. If you guys played that game, I covered it quite a bit. I played it quite a bit. That game, you would be in the queue for like 10 to 12 minutes to wait for that game to get in. You cannot have an online game where really the value is online, right? There is free play. It's just you. I hope they eventually add bots to that just so you can kind of practice. But I mean, really, the only thing you can do in this game is play online, which is the point. But that means you have to have a smooth experience, which I do think they have. Honestly, when you're in the game, sometimes, I'm talking, by the way, 1 out of every 10, 12 matches, okay? The ball will do something wild, like one time in a match, okay? It's if I were to give a percentage, the game is functioning and running flawlessly. It needs to, because it's an arcadey, you know, Rocket League, and then it actually adds the soccer element back in, right? It needs to work well. It works well 97% of the time, and that's huge. That is massive. But the servers have got to be fixed. You cannot be waiting. I don't care if it's ranked. I don't care if it's casual. I don't care if it's 5-on-5 or 5v5, 4v4, whatever. You cannot be waiting 6+ minutes, you know, to get into a match. That's unacceptable. So again, they've been fixing it. They need to continue to fix that, and that would be literally my only, other than adding bots to free play, that's the only thing I would say, because the game is just addicting. It is, and I've said it before, you know, in terms of the betas, like, it's just fun. It has that feel where you can play it casually, and I'm actually kind of past that point even in my head, you know, and I'm not an ego boosting thing. You know, I've gotten pretty good, and I feel like I'm a really good teammate, and I've had that experience. I played dozens of hours, you know, in the beta to kind of get there as well. But it's like, you know, you can jump in and just have a couple matches with your friends. You don't have to be good. You know, you can kind of just figure it out, right? It's got only a couple buttons, like passing, shooting, floating, kind of hovering around a person. But then, then it's got that skill jump, right? Where it's like, okay, if you really want to be good, well, sliding isn't always the best idea, right? You'll oftentimes see beginners just slide. You'll see goalkeepers leave their net all the time out of position. And then when you start to kind of settle down, you see the pros. What I would say, this game at its best is like get into a ranked mode, play against some people that are pretty high up there, and just see how dynamic it can be, but also like everybody's playing it so perfectly. Positionally, they're playing it so well. The game encourages that, right? It's got the wacky arcadey type vibe where, there's no offside. You can tackle people for no good reason, right? You can get in front of people. You can purposely miss the shot. The aiming isn't perfect, so oftentimes you will miss shots. Like it's got that arcade-like nature, but also like if you want to play it very, very seriously and take it seriously, it's there. You play against some good people, you are going to find, you're going to try a lot of things, and so many of them will fail, just like a real, a real soccer, a real football, however you want to say it. The scores aren't 10-9. You know what I mean? Like I've played a lot of 1-0, 2-1, 3-2 type games in Rematch, and it feels real. It feels like, okay, you make one mistake, it's over. Everybody's got to play it so well. Now that's in ranked. I don't want to scare people off where it's like, Alex, you're making it sound kind of serious. The point is, it can be serious, and I'm drawn to that, right? So like honestly, now I don't have too much value for casual play because it's like, it's fun, and honestly I feel like I kind of dominate more casual play than ranked play. But it's like, okay, you can have that. You can have that kind of wild west type soccer match where it just functions very well, and it's fun. It's fun because the controls are a little light, and you're not playing FIFA, you're playing this. But then if you want to take it very, very seriously, yeah, it's not FIFA, or it's not like the most, sim soccer type experience you can have. It's got that arcade feel, but you can take it seriously. And that's it. That's literally the game. If you've never played soccer, you never looked at soccer in your life, you wouldn't, I guess, be here, I guess, right? So the game just, I think, is so good. So fundamentally solid. And like, that's it. And that's really all it needed to be. Honestly, now it's just, it needs to keep the player base. And like I said, it's I don't want to be mean, but it's at the same time, I'm just being like flat out honest. I don't care about anything else. I don't care how many battle passes they have. No, like, look, I don't want it to get predatory. I hate that stuff. I've FIFA and Madden and a lot of, just live service, and that's in the sports world, but how these games can be. I joke about it, but realistically, yeah, games can have these like 10 different currencies, and it's $20 for 20,000 tokens, and it's like, I hate that stuff. I despise it. I don't support it, and I'm not going to here, and I'm saying that, for the developers, for anybody that wants to hear me, that's the role I play here. I'm going to play the hell out of this game, and I'm going to have so much fun as I have, but I could care less what you do in any of the other. I don't care if there was one skin in this game, one character model, and that was it, because ultimately a game like this, a game like Rocket League, a game like any of these games that have survived a long time, now Rematch obviously has a way to go, but like Rocket League to me survives because of the game. It doesn't survive. Yeah, I guess the other things maybe help it, but if the game sucked, the core game of Rocket League, if that wasn't there, the game would not have lasted 7-8 years, right? And to me, that's what I see in Rematch is a fundamentally like next to perfect game, and then anything else they do, whatever. Okay, so let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.